Hey guys, it's Cole and Miriam with the Bridge Group, and today we're going to be talking about 3 different types of real estate investments. So let's start off with the first one, the most obvious one. What do you think is the most obvious or the most thought of real estate investment type of property?
Yeah, so when most people think of real estate investing, they usually think about buying a property and renting it out, which means long-term rentals.
Yeah, perfect. And that's what all the gurus, the Tariq, and all these people sell their courses on buying properties, maybe a little bit of renovation, using a hard money loan and not putting anything down and having another property.
The BRRRR method.
Yes, which is not entirely true. You have to have some money to do that. But at the end of the day, it is long-term rental. I'm going to buy this property, fix it up a little bit, and put a tenant in it, right? Not so popular today. Why?
Because of interest rates, unfortunately. Now the interest rates have kind of risen. When you're buying a property, your mortgage is a little higher, which means when you rent it out, you're not going to have the same cash flow as we did before.
That's right. And so typically, back in the day, when Kelly and I got into real estate, people were buying these properties and getting $600, $900 cash flow. They were primarily buying these rental properties to cash flow. Today, because of what Miriam said, and the interest rates really take away a lot of that cash flow. So if you do that, which I have a lot of clients that still do that, they work a W-2 job, they want to offset their taxes, and so they will buy real estate, offset their taxes that way. That's a primary means of buying long-term rentals for them. It's not necessarily the cash flow. They don't really care if they, maybe if they just break even, that's all they're looking for. And it's an equity play and a tax play. So that's not as popular anymore. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which would be flips.
Yep.
So what does that look like? Whenever someone comes to you, Miriam, and they do, you have several clients that are like, hey, Miriam, find me something. I want to do a flip. What does that mean?
So a fix and flip, which means you buy a property at less at what the value of it is, and then you renovate it, you put some money into it, and then you sell it for the after repair value.
Correct. Perfect. ARV, right? After repair value. The numbers are pretty simple. The thing is if you don't have the experience with contractors and knowing what certain things cost, that's where maybe a delay in the process would be. And if you find the right property through a wholesaler, through Miriam's wholesalers, then basically what you want to do is get into that property as soon as you possibly can, bring your contractor and get kind of a list of everything that would be itemized and saying, hey, this is what we're going to do with this project. Now you have your after repair value, you have your purchase price. You want to make sure that, hey, look, if I could buy this for $100,000 and the after repair is $200,000, then it does us no good to buy this if it's going to cost us $80,000 to flip. You would probably want it to be around $30,000 because then you also have closing costs, you have everything else associated and holding costs. So all of that you want to at least make $35,000, and there's different caps and percentages that you can look into as well. Everyone has their own floor and ceiling. So fix and flips are still very good today. They will always be good in a market where, especially like Houston, where you have motivated sellers all over the place. And that's what you want to look for if you're looking for a fix and flip, a motivated seller. All right, and lastly, let's go into my favorite, Miriam's favorite, short-term rentals. We both own short-term rentals and very different, drastically different rentals. Mine are in I would say like a tourist destination, right? Galveston, whereas Miriam has one in the suburbs. I like that strategy. How is your Airbnb doing right now?
Yeah, so we kind of decided to take a different strategy than what most people think of. When they think of Airbnb, they think of, oh, I need to be in town, I need to be near the beach, something touristy, like Cole said. We decided to actually go to the suburbs where we live, Cypress, Texas. We got a property in our neighborhood, so it's really close to us, and it's been performing very well. This is our 3rd month, and we're at 70% occupancy, which is great numbers.
That's really good numbers. I think that our numbers, and I'm gonna have to depend on Kelly on this, but I think one of our beach houses is 68% and the other is like 75%. Okay, so 75% is pretty good, but 68%, that's still really good. Anything over, I believe, 64%, you're absolutely killing it. But for me, whenever Miriam told me that, I was like, that's absolutely insane, but it makes complete sense because there's 8,000 short-term rentals in Galveston, on the island of Galveston. Imagine how many less short-term rentals are in Cypress, Texas.
Yeah, we do have less competition, and like I said, it's very easy for us. It's convenient, and it's near us. Anything that goes by, we can go check it out. And you actually get a lot of different people that need a rental in Cypress or in any suburbs because they're visiting family, they're there for the holidays, maybe they're hosting a party and they don't have enough space in their home, they need to rent out a home. So there's definitely a lot of reasons that people need the suburbs.
Yeah, crazy. And then what is kind of an average per night for your Airbnb?
So we currently have it at $350 a night during the weekdays and $425 during the weekends. And our weekends are always booked.
That's crazy. That's insane. So you're definitely making your mortgage back
Yes.
and more.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's really the biggest draw as far as, all right, what are we looking for in an STR, a short-term rental, Airbnb, VRBO? Most people buy them for the cash flow. The caveat, if you've watched any of Kelly and I, our videos on Airbnb, is the caveat is that it is not as passive as long-term rentals. So it is almost like a second job. I mean, you're a property manager and a host. So you're trying to make sure that your guests are having a good time, that they're not going to leave you anything less than a 5-star review, because that can definitely hurt your business. So Airbnb, you can make twice or 3 times the mortgage amount. So really, in my opinion, interest rates on short-term rentals don't really have that big of an effect on my cash flow. And you still, with short-term rentals, you still get all the other benefits as far as equity, appreciation, and taxes. So, you know, we're doing all kinds of different things with our taxes to offset everything else, and it definitely helps. So you have the benefits of long-term rentals within the short-term rental. The caveat, the con rather, is that it takes more time to serve them as a host, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us today. If you guys have any questions about investing in the Houston market, feel free to reach out to Cole and I would love to help you.